Good morning, everyone. I hope you're well. Hello, hello. If you can see me, do say hello. Uh, I'm talking to you this morning about all things send. So if you know someone who is interested in the topic of send, or perhaps you have particular interest yourself, then stay tuned. But if you know someone, please do tag them. Share this video, of course. Um, I'm Chrissa, I'm the founder of Sunshine Support. I'm here this morning to chat to you, like I say, all about send. And I'm going to be here for about half an hour to an hour, depending on how chatty you are. So do say hello if you can see me. Let me know where you're watching from as well. Because it's always interesting to see if there are any hot spots, because there are often hot spots actually in the country. Hi Claire from sunny North Wales. It is beautiful today, isn't it? Not that I'm in North Wales, of course, I'm in Derbyshire, but it is a beautiful day. We've definitely organised for the sun to come out today. We've got lots of you watching, so do say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Um, and do let me know what your experience with Send is. Bear in mind, this is a public page, so don't go naming anybody in particular. But do let me know if there are any challenges that you're facing at the moment. So on Friday this week, we have got our day of send. And I wanted to come and chat to you about it to let you know that there is support out there, because so many people come to us and say, there's just nothing out there. There's no support. I don't know where to get the information from. You're in the right place. And on Friday, we've got tons of it coming your way. So like I say, if you're watching and you know a send parent, or perhaps you know a teacher, tag them now. Let them know that this is going to be of interest to them. They can either watch it live, or this will actually be on our Facebook and YouTube channel later on. It will remain on our YouTube channel forever, but Facebook are now getting rid of Facebook Live videos. So do check out our YouTube channel and subscribe over there if you are on YouTube. Now, it's important for us at Sunshine Support, like I say, to give you the right information, empower everyone with the correct information, because I think as parents, as teachers, we often get fobbed off, don't we? And we get the incorrect information. And there is so much media attention at the moment on send. And so it's really difficult, and I think it can get quite confusing to understand, what's a rumor? What is, the Daily Mail? And what's an actual fact? And I think we all get riled so much, don't we? I know I've been quite angered by a lot of media just recently, and it's difficult to know what is actual change, what's happening. Has the law changed? Is it going to affect me? How is it going to affect my children, or the children in my class? So we're here to bring you all the facts. And what's great is that we're completely impartial. We're completely independent. We're not funded by anybody in particular. So it means there's no red tape here. There's no politics. So, like I say, before I get started, let me ask you a question. What's the biggest challenge that you're facing right now as a parent or as a teacher in the world of special educational needs and disabilities, or ALN, if you're in Wales, additional learning needs? Is it perhaps getting the right support in the classroom? Could it be that you have a social care problem, or you're worried about social care, or a child in need situation? Maybe you've been denied an EHCP. We're getting a lot at the moment where people are saying, well, they're refusing to assess. They won't even assess my child for an EHCP. Let me know what challenges you're facing at the moment. And do say hello. I can see there's quite a lot of you watching, but you're a very quiet bunch unless I'm missing the comments this morning. So do say hello. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, say hello as well, because we have more recently been streaming over to YouTube. So if you're over there, please do say hello. So whilst you're typing your biggest challenges, and do keep them coming in to me and I will address them. If you've got any questions about send, post them in this chat now. Like I mentioned earlier, it's our day of send. this Friday. Now, what that means is that we've got eight webinars over 12 hours. It's like a send webinar marathon or something. So from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., we have got send webinars lined up for you. So in one day, it should take you from confused to confident. That's our promise to you. So let me show you our lineup for the day. This is one I prepared earlier. So you'll have seen this artwork being shared a lot on social media. So let me break it down and explain it a bit to you. So at 9 o'clock, you're going to see me on Facebook and YouTube, welcoming you all to a day of Send. And then we start with a webinar on Send and schools. Now, we've got two of our amazing educators leading this webinar. They're going to be talking all about special educational needs in the classroom. So great for parents to understand, what can I ask for? What should I be expecting? But also there's going to be some brilliant tips for teachers in there as well. So it's a really fantastic workshop delivered by educators. Okay. Then at 11:30, we've got another one of our educators, Gabby. So the first webinar is with Lindsay and Emily. The second webinar is with Gabby. Gabby used to run a language provision. So she's a Senko with a specific specialism in communication, speech, language, and communication. So Gabby is going to actually be teaching us all about how we can help our children with their vocabulary and learning at home. Because I think as parents, quite a lot of the time, we're a bit baffled. We're thinking, well, we know what this plan says, what the EHCP or IEP or IDP, what it says. We understand what school are meant to be doing, but what could we be doing at home? And often there's a lack of information there. So we're going to be covering that in our third webinar. And then at 12:45, we're going to be listening to Jess Ward, our legal advisor here at Sunshine. She's going to be talking all about the legal procedures in SEND. Now, we hear a lot about pre-action letters and PAP letters and judicial review. But I remember when I came into this as a parent, I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm not a solicitor, but suddenly I have to be. So this information is going to be broken down in a way that's really easy to understand. And you'll understand when you're able to take those measures in the process of EHCPs. And then at 2:45, we've got the amazing Nicole. Now, what Nicole doesn't know about the law and social care and SEND is not worth knowing. Nicole is she will admit to us here at Sunshine, look, I'm not fussed on watching TV. I'd rather read a policy at night time. I'd rather read a piece of the law and understand legislation better. She really loves the law. I've never met anybody actually who loves the law as much as Nicole. Nicole's going to be talking us through social care in Scent, and Nicole will be talking very factually about what we can expect, both as professionals and parents. But I think it's really, really important as somebody myself who's gone through the system with my children. And when I dug my heels in and I asked for, and I said, I know what our legal rights are. My child needs X, Y, Z. I was threatened with social care proceedings, which does seem to be quite a common thing. Not that I want to scare anyone. So I think it's really good that we upskill ourselves with this stuff and understand what to expect if we do land in the laps of social care. Then at 4 o'clock, so we've gone right into the afternoon, at 4 o'clock, we've got the fantastic Nicola, who's going to be talking to us all about the right to choose scheme. Now, the right to choose scheme, I spoke quite openly about with Dr. Judy Eaton last week on Facebook and YouTube Live, or it might have been the week before. And this is a bit of a minefield for parents because they go to a GP and they ask to exercise their right to the right to choose scheme so that they can get an autism or ADHD assessment, for instance, for their children. And quite often the GP doesn't understand what they're talking about. So we're going to be answering your questions and giving you the facts about the right to choose scheme in this amazing webinar. Then we start to go on to the juicy EHCP stuff. So this is where Kelly Jarvis will take over. Now, many of you will have seen Kelly Jarvis on webinars, on Facebook and YouTube Lives, and she's often out in the community. We do let her sort of go wild in the community as well. She got spotted last week, actually, with a lot of people wanting selfies as we went out into the wild. So Kelly is very highly regarded amongst parents, amongst professionals, and the legal profession as well as being a very, very specialist educator, because she was a head teacher before of a highly specialist flagship school. Kelly's going to be looking at several things over the next couple of hours from 5:15. So in her first webinar at 5:15, she's going to be covering EHCPs, 10 vital points you need to know. And this is, again, fantastic for parents, teachers, professionals alike. It doesn't matter how you're coming to this, you're going to learn something. Then at 6:30, she's going to open up a Q&A session. So she'll be looking at some of the questions she's been asked previously, but also you're happy to, you're very welcome to join and chat to her all about Send. Ask her questions. Ask her any questions. She's got tons of answers and she loves talking. If you've met her, you'll know. Sorry, Kelly, but you know anyway. You love to chat. And then at 7:45, she's going to be looking at your EHCPs to see if they're any good. This is going to be a really vital one, I think, because so many parents come to us and say, I've got an EHCP and it's fine, but I wouldn't mind if you reviewed it. We can pick that apart like you wouldn't believe. So Kelly's going to be giving you advice on whether your plan is any good. So I'm going to come now to the questions. Oh, okay. So there's quite a few people on both of our channels saying that there's a lack of response, slow progress. So the webinar that you're going to need for that, if your local authority is not sticking to deadlines, and that's a big factor at the moment. And I appreciate that it's lack of resources, lack of funding and everything else. However, our children shouldn't have to suffer because law is law. It doesn't matter what the local policies say, by the way. But the one that I would recommend in terms of day of send is the legal procedures in send. So that's at 12:45 with Jess Ward. Jess will talk you through what a pre-action protocol letter is, or PAP letter, because actually if they're delaying things and they're going over legal deadlines, then you can hold your local authority accountable. In one of my EHCP requests for one of my children, the council went over all the deadlines until in the end, I think we were at about week 65. It should take 20 weeks. So what we did was we issued them, I think it was 7 PAP letters throughout the process. And what we noticed was the minute we gave them 7 days to respond to something, all of a sudden they jumped to attention and they did it. It still delayed the entire thing because they delayed at every part of the process. But I dread to think how much more delayed the PAP process. So definitely watch that one. Again, waiting times, refusal to assess. So refusal to assess, again, we will be talking about that in the legal procedures. So part of legal procedures are appeals, and we can definitely talk you through that. Lack of understanding from school, how to support, including masking. Now, we've got some fabulous webinars on masking. I'll come to that in a second. But in terms of the webinars that would be really useful to you on my little sheet here, Send and Schools would be really, really fabulous. And I think as well, helping Send children learn vocabulary, because I think a lot of the time when we think of Send children, we don't think of those maskers, those very highly cognitively able children who mask, who will struggle with these things because their brain is somewhere else whilst they're trying to survive in the classroom. So I think that would be really, really good for you. Waiting for a draft, Emma says this is her problem, and she's obviously got Emma works here, which is fabulous for her because she's got Jess Ward on her case. So again, Emma knows her stuff and she would definitely trust Jess Ward. So definitely come to that webinar if that's a problem for you. Claire says, struggling to get any support from school as daughter is high masking. So this is a real theme here, isn't it? Contemplating going for a private diagnosis, but worried it won't be accepted. Okay, so in terms of understanding a private diagnosis, this right to choose scheme that we're going to be talking about is the one you want to watch, because essentially what the right to choose scheme is if your child is age between 6 and 18, and if you're based in England, then NHS England will pay for your child's private diagnosis. This isn't a scam. It's not a thing that's new. It's not new. It's just all of a sudden it's really come to the forefront for the precise reason that there is a massive delay in the NHS system when it comes to offering assessments for autism and ADHD or combined assessments. So do watch that Facebook and YouTube live that I did last week with Dr. Judy Eaton, because it will give you more info. But we will be going through it as well. Let me see what time that is. 4 o'clock on Friday. So do join that one, because this way you're going to avoid the massive fees, but hopefully stick within a really tight deadline in terms of getting your assessment back. Let me see what else we've got coming in. So bear with me. Lots of questions. No, it's not available in Wales. Is that where you're based, Claire? Do let me know. Sadly, NHS Wales do not offer the right to choose scheme in this way. And so if you needed to go for private assessment, you can actually go for private assessment and have it accepted. It just means you're the doctors that you instruct need to have the relevant qualifications. But if you want to chat to us about that, ping us a message, because we've got lots of resources to help you. We've got a great blog as well on how to choose a private provider. So just ping us a message and we'll help you with that. We'll also be going through it as well, because when we cover the law, in most of these workshops, we're going to be covering the law. But when we cover the law, we will talk about the different legislations that basically secure your right to get a private diagnosis. So still join, but ping us a message. Sharon says, I've just joined and this is all new for me. My grandson lives with me and he's 8. He's been diagnosed with ADHD. We're waiting for an autism and FASD assessment. That's fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. He hates school and we struggle every day. He masks at school every day. We put him for an EHC assessment and it was refused yesterday. Please help. Okay, this day is going to help you enormously. Sharon, this is what we're talking about. So this is going to take you from the point that you are right now to feeling much more confident about the process. You do have legal rights. And from what you've just said there, he meets the criteria. He meets the legal threshold. We will be talking about the legal threshold for an EHC needs assessment request as well. So when you put in a request for an EHCP, your local authority have to assess whether the evidence in front of them shows that your child meets a 2-part threshold legal test. We will be going through all of that in detail and taking your questions. And I think the Q&A session for you is going to be brilliant, Sharon, because you can sit with Kelly, who's incredibly gentle, so empowering, so informative, and she'll be able to talk you through your options. And you won't be alone. There are so many the same as you, and you'll be in a room together supporting each other. Honestly, it's quite magical to see what happens in these amazing sessions. Okay, I'm part of the academy. Okay, so let me give you a bit more information then, because these webinars that I've just spoken about have never been seen before. They've all been written specifically for Friday, so you won't have seen us do those webinars before. But if you're a Sunshine Academy member, this is all included in your membership. How amazing is that? So basically, there's no extra ticket cost. It's an absolute bargain, really. So we want to keep this cost as low as possible for you, because we don't want to be gatekeepers of this information. We want to share it. So if you're a member, just log on Friday. Enjoy yourself. Come to all of these amazing webinars. Now, if you're not a member, which I appreciate some of you won't be, get yourself signed up now. We'll put the link in the chat. Get yourself signed up. It's only £10.99 a month. And that's for a whole month's access. After that, you might want to say, do you know, I've had enough of Send. I want to unsubscribe, you can absolutely do that. There's no catch. Um, or if you want to, if you're like me, you'll stay to watch hundreds of webinars or courses because I'm a bit of a geek. But there's genuinely no catch. So it's up to you how long you subscribe for. So for 10.99, you've got not only got Friday's access of all those amazing webinars, but you've then got an entire month ahead of you as well to absolutely soak in all this amazing Send learning. Um, Keep your questions coming, by the way, because I'm going to come to them again in a minute. Now, like I just mentioned, I use the Sunshine Academy myself. And I laugh because I'm such a geek with it. I don't think for me, I can ever know too much. I'm one of those mums. I'm really sorry. I'm really annoying. I just love learning. I just absolutely love learning. And I just can't get enough of it. I'm a bit of a geek, you know, and it's probably why so many people blooming come and ask me questions every day on the school run. Try and keep my head down. But I just absolutely love learning, whether it's autism, whether it's ADHD, and that's for me as well, because I've got ADHD, or DLD, you know, I've got very neurodivergent children. I've got a lovely neurodivergent brood. So I'm always learning. But I also love, as everybody knows, all the mental health stuff, the emotional health stuff. And of course, my favorite topic of all, trauma. And I have managed to get some of the absolute trauma gods on our Sunshine Academy. We've even got the amazing Dr. Janina Fisher. I mean, she's incredible. Um, but I really get my kicks from watching this up-to-date stuff because I can't get out and about to workshops and seminars as much as I'd like to. So, and then because I'm a true geek, I then take some quizzes to make sure that I understand because I'm a real nerd. Sorry, self-confess. Um, I also really love the online clinics because we have these Ask the Expert events on our Sunshine Academy. They happen once a month. We've got specific ones for parents, specific ones for teachers. And I absolutely love them because, again, as a SEND parent, when I was going through it, I would have loved to be able to sit down with someone and say, "Oh my God, I'm facing this challenge now. Can you help me? What do I do next? How do I navigate this? I've got really big emotions. I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. I understand I can research it on the internet, but give it to me quickly. How can I get this information? What do I do?" And that's what these online sessions are fantastic for. Um, and I just love it because it's face to face. You've got an hour with an advocate who is fantastic. All our advocates are amazing here. So it's a really good opportunity. But again, it's all in that cost of 10.99 a month. I mean, I don't think you could ask for any more, really, as part of this price. It's an absolute bargain. Anyway, day of send. It takes place this Friday, 21st of March, which is World Down Syndrome Day. So we'll be celebrating that as well. Because the boss here, she has Down syndrome. Oh my God, she rules us all. So we will be celebrating Down Syndrome Day. But Day of Send takes place 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. It's on the Sunshine Academy. Do get signed up. Don't go leaving it thinking you're going to do it later because if you're anything like me, you'll just forget, you know, working memory and all that. Right, let's see if I've got any other queries. Polly says, we're on a waiting list for right to choose assessment. Just for awareness, it may be quicker, but it's still not quick. 12 months rather than 4 years for our nearest option, which is still over 100 miles away. Honestly, it's bonkers, isn't it? It's really, really bonkers. We were talking in the office about how amazing it would be to have a visual online, like the NHS do for A&E. You know, sometimes in some areas you can log on and see that A&E waits are this today and the walk-in centre is this particular minute, hours wait or whatever. Wouldn't it be great to have an online function for all these right to choose assessors where they can put in every week on a Monday what their current waiting list is, because then you can actually choose rather than, because what we're finding, and Dr. Judy Eaton was talking about this last week, is that parents, of course, are not patient, and I can understand it because I wasn't patient as I was going through it with my children. And so what they're doing is they're registering with loads of different providers and going on their waiting list. So the waiting lists aren't a true reflection of what's happening, because parents could be registered on 10, 15, 20 different providers' waiting lists. So it's really frustrating. So I hope that that speeds up for you, because I have heard from a number of people very close to me how their process actually took 4 months. So fingers crossed that it's not 12 months. Let me see if we've got any other queries. Do you ever discuss anything about PMDD? Oh, bear with me, that just jumped around. Oh my goodness. Yeah, my daughter has just been diagnosed. Apparently the risk in ADHD girls is quite high. Yes, now this sort of stuff would probably be covered by Dr. Rachel Mosley, and I do believe we have some uh some webinars on this on the Sunshine Academy. I know that she's dealt with hormones, menopause, in neurodivergence. So definitely check out her webinars. Um, because actually what she doesn't know about it is not worth knowing, but it's something that we need to spend a little more time in. Um, I'm not going to give advice on here, but if you do go over to my Instagram, I do talk about hormones and ADHD, and I do signpost to different places as well. Do check me out on Instagram. I'm Sunshine Chrissa is my handle. Because I talk daily about different things. It's where I get to go wild with my thoughts. Um, so Sharon says, is there anyone I can talk to privately? As due to the circumstances why he lives with me, it's very sensitive. Absolutely, Sharon. So ping us a message and we can get you set up with an advocate. That's not a problem at all. Let me see. Emma says, I've been a member of the Sunshine Academy for over a year and I was a little worried I wouldn't use it enough, but it's been an absolutely invaluable resource for my boys' SEN journey, as has Kelly Jarvis's expertise and support. That's amazing. I'm really, really pleased. Kelly's absolutely amazing. And the Academy, like I said, is just such a lovely compliment, whether you take on an advocate, whether you work with one of our advocates, or whether you just come to us and use the Sunshine Academy. It's absolutely brilliant because it's very, very empowering. And, last week, Kelly and I were out in the wild and we were chatting to a bunch of people at this big trauma conference down south. And these lovely two women came to us and said, we're members of the Sunshine Academy. And we almost cried. We were like, oh, wow, this is quite amazing. And they said, we love what you do. And, it's inspired us to set up something as well, which we can't wait to hear more about. And we're hoping to go and see. But how lovely that it's so far reaching. There are a lot of members on there now. So you tend to find there's a community within there as well, like a little Facebook group. And so you get to post your questions and other people answer you. And sometimes an advocate can answer you. It's absolutely lovely. Honestly, it's so fabulous. It's a really gorgeous community on there and everybody is welcome. Belinda says, we've got a private autism assessment, but our son for our son, but we're still on the SCAAS pathway. Will we be able to see the team when they finally get round to us? We've been on the pathway for nearly 3 years. It's absolutely crazy, isn't it? It's bonkers. And I don't understand why now. Well, I do understand why the government are turning on us all and saying, oh, we're overdiagnosing you. We're offering too many assessments. Really, too many. There's not enough. So anyway, I hope I've given you enough information there to learn more and feel empowered and inspired to learn more. We would really love to see you all on Friday. You can watch the webinars live. You can post questions as well. So it's just a regular webinar. You can post questions to the speaker, and we will obviously answer them. Or you can watch on catch up. So they'll be available really quickly. So if you're at work on Friday and you think I could really do with watching this over the weekend, they'll be there for you, all on the Sunshine Academy. Just make sure you sign up. So my team have put the links to the Sunshine Academy in the chat. Do look out for them. If you can't see them, either send us a message or comment and just say, I need the link. And we'll absolutely share it with you. Somebody's just posted a question. Ah, there we go. I think I've just answered your question about the recordings. So without further ado, I'm going to crack on prepping for Friday, just making sure that all those slides and the content is absolutely spot on for you all. But if you have any questions, continue to post them in the chat here and we'll come to them throughout the day. But have a fantastic day, everyone, and we will see you Friday. Bye.